The RLCS World Championship is less than 2 weeks away. On August 3rd in Düsseldorf, Germany, 24 teams will battle it out to see who is the best and who will take home the title of Rocket League World Champions. Walk with me as I power rank these 24 teams and see who I think will come out on top in this World Championship. Starting us off at number 24 is the second seed out of Sub-Saharan Africa, Valiant. Now the squad is on a bit of an upswing after having picked up Sweaty before the spring split, and they've looked better ever since, including a win over Limitless, the number 1 seed, in the Spring Invitational. However, they've also lost that team 5 times, and they all are LAN rookies. So look for this team to gain some experience and perhaps win some games, but it's unlikely they take a series. Coming in at 23 is the second seed out of APAC, Gladiators. Now this team has had some successes, including attending the Winter Major and winning their last regional, the Spring Invitational, with a Game 7 victory over Elevate, the 1 seed. However, they've also had some downs. They didn't win a single game at the Winter Major, and they've consistently lost to Elevate since that winter split. Additionally, this team is dropping LCT after this event. They've already announced it in advance that they're going to be playing with a different player moving forwards. So I believe that's going to impact their mental, and that's why I have them so low. Coming in at 22 is Sub-Saharan Africa's first seed, Limitless. This squad has dominated their region, winning 8 out of 9 regionals and only dropping a handful of series. Additionally, they're building off success from last season, where Snowy and Darth got a win at last year's World Wildcard, and they added on to Die For, the best player in their region, and a player who many would say would succeed in North America or Europe. That said, they are coming in from a weaker region, and they have a lot to prove. We'll see if they can win some series and outshine this 22 ranking. Coming in at number 21 is OCE's first seed, Pioneers. Now, despite coming in first for Oceania's entire season, they did not make the Spring Major, and additionally, when they attended the Winter Split Major, they only won 1 game, losing all 3 of their series. Now, this squad could see some success, but I don't find it likely, especially because they don't have a coach, the only team at Worlds to not be playing with a coach, which will hurt if they need to mentally rebound or take a timeout during series. Coming in at number 20 is APAC's first seed, Elevate. Now this is probably lower than the squad had hoped coming into the season, as Virtuoso moved from EU and Karmine moved from OCE to form this super team for their region. That said, they have had a good season on the whole. In the spring split, they won 2 out of 3 events, only losing a Game 7 overtime to Gaming Gladiators, and although they went winless in series at the spring split major, they did take a game off Vitality, the eventual winners of the event, and looked good against Team Liquid as well. We'll see how far the squad can go, but they definitely are a threat to win series in the wildcard. Coming in at number 19 is OCE's second seed, Power. Now, this team is the epitome of ups and downs. They started with a dominant fall split, but then had a terrible winter split in region. However, in the spring, they turned it around and managed to clinch a major spot at the Spring Major against their in-region rivals, Ground Zero. Additionally, they looked good against Rule 1 and Spacestation, taking Rule 1 to a Game 5 even. So, although I don't think they're a threat to go super deep into this tournament, they definitely could take some wins and are a threat to any team in the wildcard. At 18 is EU's 7th seed, G1. The squad had a good start to the season, in no small part due to their superstar Atomic. However, after a poor winter major, they replaced Mark by 8 with Oli. They haven't looked better since though, with a 10th place finish in EU's spring split. That said, they come into the wildcard hoping to get some wins. However, rumors of a roster change that nearly occurred before Worlds has not shed a good light on this team's progress. At 17 is South America's 3rd seed, Team Secret. This squad had an incredible start to the season, getting top 4 at the Fall Major, and they looked good through Winter as well, making the Winter Major and taking Team Liquid to Game 5. However, losing to Crew in a Game 5 to get knocked out of the tournament sent their season on a slight downward spiral. They got 3rd place in the spring split, and not only lost repeatedly to Crew, but were also losing to teams that weren't making majors out of South America. This means that their squad is coming into Worlds at the weakest point yet. However, if they can bounce back to their fall form, they're a threat to go far in this tournament. A quick note before we talk about the top 16 teams, over 88% of my viewers are not subscribed, and it's a super quick and easy way to help the channel grow. So if you're enjoying the video, please hit the subscribe button It'll help me grow, and it'll help you get notified when I put out new videos. Thank you. Coming in at 16 is North America's 4th seed, G2. This squad had a good start to the season, making the fall major and getting top 8 at the winter major. However, they fell off in the spring split. They got 8th place in North America and were losing to teams that not only didn't make Worlds, but weren't making majors either, like SUP and NRG. This squad can go all the way, as evidenced by their 2nd place at Worlds last season and major win last season. However, if they're playing on current form, they're not likely to go far. At 15 is MENA's 3rd seed, Twisted Minds. This squad has been consistent all season, getting top 4 in 8 out of 9 regionals. However, they've proven to be strongest in the spring split, getting 2nd twice and beating Falcons and Rule 1 along the way. This means they've proven for the first time that not only can they hang around the top of Middle East, but they can beat the top teams as well. If they continue this strong form, they may be a threat to go far in the tournament, although their LAN experience will be their weakest point, as one player, Venom, is a LAN rookie. At 14 is South America's 2nd seed, Crew. This squad has had a solid season, probably the most consistent of all the South American teams. They won 3 regionals and got top 8 at the winter major. However, one of their weaker points was the recent spring major, where they got out in last place, although they did face tough foes in Gen.G and Rule 1. This squad could go far, and if they do make it far at Worlds, it would be on the back of their star player Jufinho, so look to him to lead his team to victories as they go along in the World's wildcard and potentially further. At 13, I have South America's 1st seed, Ninjas in Pajamas. Now this is a good squad that had a good season on the whole, however they had a poor spring major, getting out 9th, 12th, and South America on the whole looks weakest it has in a very long time. Although they had a good spring split, in the spring invitational they got bracket reset by Crew and lost the following series, meaning that I don't have a lot of faith in this squad despite being the 1st seed out of SAM. We'll see how far they can go, and if they do go far, it would be on the back of their recent rookie pickup, Mata. At number 12 is Europe's 6th seed, Oxygen Esports. This squad had a good start to the season, however after a poor winter major, Rise chose to leave the team, and they replaced him with Ixo. The squad hasn't looked as good in spring, getting 8th place in the split. However, they did have some close matches, including a Game 7 against Moist and a Game 5 against BDS, that have led me to believe that they might have some success, especially given how tough Europe was this split. If they do go far, look out for Archie and Jorias, as these two have been known to be mechanical masterminds when they're playing well. At 11 is MENA's 2nd seed, Team Falcons. To see them at 2nd seed is quite a surprise, because they've been 1st in MENA every split until now, but in the spring split, Rule 1 managed to not only jump them and make the spring major, but jump them in the overall standings as well. That said, Falcons is still a strong team and can still perform on LAN, as they've gotten 2nd place at the spring major last year. Additionally, their recent major appearance, the winter split major, saw them lose to the eventual winners, Karmine Corp, and Gen.G, the fall major winners, in a Game 5. So they definitely still have what it takes to be competitive on LAN. At number 10 is North America's 2nd seed, FaZe Clan. Now this squad was hard to rate, because they've been very successful in the recent past, including getting 2nd place at the recent winter major. However, they didn't make the spring major, and although they came tied for 5th and only lost a tiebreaker to Gen.G, it was still a poor split for them, seeing them lose to squads that aren't at Worlds like Furia and Optic. Now, because of all their strengths in the past, I still think they could make a deep run, so it found them harder to place them lower than 10th. But their recent struggles in North America mean that they're still below some other North American squads I have higher in these power rankings. Coming in at number 9 is North America's 5th seed, Spacestation Gaming. And despite being the 5th seed, they were number 1 in North America in spring, their best split by far. This was a surprise because Daniel left the squad, who many considered to be a superstar, and they had to pick up a replacement, Hoxer. But with Hoxer, they've looked incredible and the most consistent in North America. And despite a somewhat poor showing at the spring major, it's not too much of a concern in my eyes because they lost to Karmine Corp and Gen.G, 2 strong teams on LAN. At number 8 is North America's 3rd seed, Complexity Gaming. This squad had a poor fall split, and so dropped one of their players, Shad, and picked up CRR in his stead. This has proved to be an amazing decision, as they had a dominant winter split, which they capped off with a top 4 at the winter major. They followed it up with a good spring split and got top 8 at the recent spring major. This top 8 wasn't poor finish though. They had to play Vitality and ended up also losing to Rule 1. Both of these teams got top 4, so they're playing with tough competition and can hang near the top. We'll see how far they go this Worlds, but I expect them to make at least a playoffs run. At number 7 is Europe's 5th seed, Moist Esports. They've made 2 roster moves this season, one after fall and another after winter, the most recent being to replace Astral with Cash. It ended up being the right call, because despite having a poor winter split, they did much better in spring and made the spring major, even making a top 6 run. They're looking quite good, ending the season on a strong note, and although they're not a favorite to win the tournament, they are a favorite to make it quite far, and I expect them to make a playoff run. At number 6 is MENA's 1st seed, Rule 1, and it is quite a surprise to see them here in the 1st seed slot for MENA, as prior to the spring split they were solidly in 2nd. However, they had a great split and an even better spring major, getting 4th place and solidifying their spot not only as 1st seed in MENA, but all the way straight to the main event. And I do expect them to make a deep run here, although I'm not putting them higher than 6 despite their top 4 finish at the spring major, because although they played well and beat quite a few good teams, they ended up losing to the top 2 teams at the major, BDS and Vitality, both in sweeps. They were close games, but both losses were sweeps, and I don't expect them to be a threat to win this event, although again, another deep run is likely. At number 5 is Europe's 3rd seed, Team Liquid. This squad has had an amazing season. 2 regional wins, another 2 regional grand final appearances, and a top 4 at the winter major help highlight their incredible season. Although they finished it off with a top 8 at spring major, it was still nothing to scoff at, with their only losses being Game 5s to Gen.G and Complexity. This squad is the first on the list that I feel has a realistic chance to win the entire event, and if they do make a deep run, it'll be the pair of Oskin and Tao popping off. Let's see how far they can make it at Worlds. At number 4, I have North America's 1st seed, Gen.G Mobile One Racing. This squad hit the ground running after apparently Jack and Nolly moved over the pond and picked up Chronic. They had an incredible fall split, getting 1st place in North America and then winning the fall major. The rest of their season hasn't gone as smoothly, although they still got top 8 at the winter major and top 6 at the spring major. They consistently make deep runs on LAN, and I expect this squad to go far at Worlds. Although they had a poor spring split in region, they really did bounce back at the spring major, and I truly believe they could win this event, although they certainly aren't the favorites. At number 3 is Europe's 4th seed, Team BDS. This squad has seen an incredible fall and then resurgence in the span of one season. They won last year's World Championship, but then had poor regional after poor regional in the fall and winter splits. This led them to drop extra and pick up Rise in his stead, and it was a great decision because they had a much better spring split, bouncing back all the way to a grand finals appearance in the spring invitational. This success continued into the spring major, where they went undefeated up until the grand finals, and although they lost back-to-back series to Team Vitality, it was still an incredible run, and it leaves them in a great position to challenge to win another World Championship in this event. Coming in at number 2 is Europe's 1st seed Karmine Corp. This team has been incredibly consistent, attending all 3 majors and making 7 out of 9 European Grand Finals. They won 3 of those regionals and also won the winter major. And although they came in 3rd in the recent spring major, their only losses were Game 7 to Team BDS and Game 7 to Team Vitality. They have proven why they belong, and they are a huge threat to win this World Championship. If they do, it'll likely be because of Vatira, a player who many have considered to be the best in the world at times, and who is trying to make that argument yet again at this World Championship. Coming in at number 1 is Europe's 2nd seed, Team Vitality. But don't let the 2nd seed fool you. This team is clearly the best in recent form, as they have just completed the first perfect split in the history of RLCS. They won all 3 European regionals, and then won the spring major. This team has been incredible, and all 3 players deserve praise, but Alpha 54 and Radosin have to be thanking Zen for joining their team, as this young prodigy has propelled them from a top 8 finish at the winter major to this incredible perfect split. The biggest question mark in the World Championship will be to see can Vitality do it and finish off the 5-peat, winning 5 events in a row. And there you have it, all 24 teams at the Rocket League World Championship, power ranked by who I think is the best. Who do you think is the best? Let me know in the comment if you agree or disagree with parts of the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.